G'day guys, Chris here from FLITELab. A couple of post-ride tips and tricks to look after your AMPJet. First thing we want to do is actually turn the launch pad off. And there we go. We can pull that out as well. So we've got our launch pad from our session. Now that we know it's off, we know there's no chance that the jet's going to fire up. We pull this out with a long jacking bolt. Now this is a long bolt, but it's designed for a reason, just in case anything gets jammed in there during your session. It's a 1 in 100, probably not even that, but last thing we want to do is have a cartridge jammed in there. So you see that that slowly pulls the cartridge out for the first bit, and then you'll hear the bolt click. There it goes. Give it another half turn and then pull this out. Grab it with both hands, pull it out. So here we go. We've got the cartridge. Now, first thing we want to do, because I've let it sit there, it's probably most of it's drained out, but if you haven't let it sit there for very long, just make sure like some water can drain out of here. Let's give it, a little bit of a tap. Then what I do is just grab my towel. Let's dry this off. Much better to have it all dry before we remove these batteries. We want to keep these batteries dry. They're waterproof, but they've still got connectors on them. They're going to last longer if you keep them dry. So give that a good dry, especially this end. What we don't want to do is pull the end cap off like this. Any drops left on the end cap are going to drip straight back into the system. We also don't want to pull the end cap off like this, because you've got a chance that the batteries, they hold in there quite well, but you don't want to drop the batteries on the ground. So I hold it with this slightly down, so any drops are going to fall out. And then you just want to slowly pull, just wiggle it and just slowly pull the end cap out. You can see a few drops coming off there, right? A few drops, but that's nice and dry on the inside. We put that away. And then in here, I look, and that's bone dry. That's what we want. Now that we know that's bone dry, if there is a few little drops, just give it a quick little wipe like that. The battery will still be dry, and then you pull this out, and we want to look. I've got dry hands, and we've got perfectly dry batteries. The thing to check is make sure that there's no moisture on any of these pins here, and especially these front pins here. I grabbed the 142 logo here, give my thumb on it, give it a little twist and a push. These come apart. I check these two connectors. So this is all looking just like I put it together. Really, really great. So we can put those away. Now what we want to do is just quickly inspect the cartridge. We want to look down here and just make sure it's dry, no sand, super clean. Now, if it is, clean it out. This is really, really important. If for whatever reason this thing has got a lot of salt water in it, we want to quickly wash it out, half a cup of water, rinse it out, stuff the rag down there, pull it back out, let it dry out thoroughly before you go using it again. Really important. Explain a little bit about how to put it away in the case. Here's our case. We've got a spot for our launch pad. We've dried that off. It's pretty dry anyway. There, I've put our two batteries here. Usually you put the charger here, cord here, cord here. Batteries come in separate boxes when you first get the system. You can also, you'll see my battery case here. This is an optional extra if you've got multiple batteries. This holds up to 4 batteries. It's a great little case. So great if you've got 4 batteries, even if you've got 2, little option, but we can store the batteries here. Now what we want to make sure is when we put this back in, because we don't want these batteries getting wet, is we want to really dry this thing off, really make sure that we've got rid of pretty much all the water. All right, so we're nice and dry. I tend to put the end cap back on. That goes in there like that. We close it up, we zip it up, we get home. When we get home, we want to pull this back, take our batteries out, make sure they're still dry, go store them in a cool, dry place, charge them up if you're going to go out for a session again the next day. We'll pull this out. Now we might have a few drops of water in here, so we want to dry that off, so that's all dry, and we want to wash this thing. So if you want this thing to last forever, let's give it a quick wash. So a couple of things. This is all carbon, never going to corrode. This is all plastic, never going to corrode. We do have an alloy impeller in there. Now it's set on bushings, it's anodized, we're doing everything to stop it corroding, but still really, really great to wash that salt off it. So best way, you can give it a quick squirt down, that's one way. But if you've got a bucket of water, just a small bucket, dip the end into the bucket, give it a bit of it, swish around, pull it out, let it drain, do it a second time. If you're fully OCD, go for a third if you want. Then you want to thoroughly dry this cartridge off, right? Leave it out of the case. Let it completely air dry out so it's completely dry. We make sure our case is completely dry. And if we're going to store the thing, we put it back in the case. Everything's completely dry. We can put our charged batteries back in here, zip it up, and you're ready to go to the next day or the afternoon. There's some care and maintenance. Really, really important to look after these batteries. Like, we've built them bulletproof, but we want to look after these batteries. We want to look after the cartridge. You know, this is a great system. We've built it as robust as it can be, but let's just do a little bit of care and maintenance. So thanks for your time, guys. Enjoy your sessions.